All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going deep, I mean really deep, into what you could call the mystical source code of reality itself. And guess where it's hidden? Right inside the very first verses of Genesis. We're going to be using some amazing ancient texts like the Kabbalah and Midrash to unlock a story of creation that I promise you have never heard before. So here's our journey for today. We're going to look at this through 5 different lenses. We'll start with the cosmic cinema of creation. Then we'll crack the letter's secret code. After that, we'll get into the first man's choice, understand the blueprint of reality, and finally, bring it all home with how to upgrade your inner world. Let's get started. First things first, I want you to set aside everything you think you know about the beginning. We're going to paint a picture of creation the way these ancient sources see it, not as a physical event, but as a moment of pure, vibrating, conscious energy. You know, the Zohar, a foundational mystical text, puts it so poetically. A hidden brilliance struck its ether, touching and not touching. It's describing this formless void, a state they call tohu vavohu. Think of it like a movie screen right before the film starts. It's dark, but it's humming with this incredible potential. This wasn't a physical act, like someone building with bricks and mortar. The sources describe it as an emanation of divine consciousness. A single seed of potential was planted inside this cosmic palace, and that one seed was destined to blossom and bring forth, well, all the worlds, everything we know as reality.
Okay, now for the really fun part, the treasure hunt. These mystical sources tell us that the story isn't just in the words of Genesis. No. It's actually coded into the letters themselves. Each Hebrew letter is seen as a kind of pipeline for divine energy, a key that unlocks a much deeper layer of reality. And one of our main tools for this treasure hunt is something called gematria. It's basically a sacred decoder ring. By converting the letters into their numerical values, the text suddenly reveals this hidden mathematical and, frankly, mind-blowing architecture. Let's look at how this works with the very first promise made to Abraham. So God tells Abraham, "So shall your seed be." Now the Hebrew word for "so" is ko. And the letters that make up that word, kaf and he, have a numerical value of 25. Now you might think, okay, 25, so what? But this number is not random. The sources show us that 25 is like a cosmic signature, this foundational number that pops up everywhere, connecting the patriarchs, the priestly blessing. It's a code, hiding in plain sight. And what's truly fascinating is that this isn't a one-off. The very first sentence of the whole story is seen as a blueprint. Those 28 letters, they correspond to divine power. The 7 words, they hint at the 7 days of creation. And the 32 times God's name is mentioned in this chapter, it connects to the 32 paths of wisdom. For the mystics, this isn't just beautiful poetry. This is the mathematical source code for reality itself. Which brings us to the absolute heart of the human story. Adam, the tree of knowledge, and a single choice that literally echoes through all of time. But here's the question. Was this choice a tragic mistake, or was it actually a necessary step in our cosmic evolution? Now the sources, they don't just give you one simple answer. And frankly, that's what makes it so profound. Instead, they present this incredible debate about what that choice really meant and what the consequences were for all of us. So you have these 2 powerful perspectives. On one hand, the choice was a cosmic tragedy. It introduced this flaw, this zohama. You can think of it like spiritual static into the system, and it fractured reality. But then there's this other argument that this was a necessary fall. I mean, think about it. The tree was the tree of knowledge of good and evil. By engaging with that duality, humanity gained real free will, the very thing that makes us human and allows for genuine moral growth. Now, to really grasp the stakes of Adam's choice, we need to zoom out for a second and look at the mystical mechanics of the universe, the spiritual physics that are described in texts like the Zohar. The sources teach that all of creation flows from this infinite divine light, but that light is just way too powerful for our finite universe to handle directly. It would be like, plugging a tiny light bulb into a supernova. It just wouldn't work. So you need a kind of transformer, an operating system, to step down and channel that incredible energy. And that operating system is the 10 Sefirot. These are basically 10 divine channels that give structure to all of reality. They include attributes like chakma, which is the first spark of wisdom, and Kesed, which is this expansive energy of kindness, and then Gevura, the contracting force of strength and judgment. Altogether, these 10 dimensions are the fundamental building blocks of, well, everything. So you see, Adam's choice wasn't just about eating a piece of fruit. He was standing at a terminal that was plugged directly into the universe's power grid. The choice wasn't if he would engage with this raw power, but how. Would he do it from a place of balance, or would he be totally overwhelmed by it? And that, right there, brilliantly illustrates the power and the responsibility that we all hold in our own lives.
So this is the crucial point, right? What does all of this ancient cosmic drama actually mean for you and me, right here, today? How do we take this amazing understanding and use it to upgrade our own lives?
Well, the sources immediately give us this powerful, super practical example in the story of Cain and Abel. And the critical difference between them wasn't what they offered. It wasn't about produce versus livestock. The text is crystal clear. It was all about the intention behind the offering. Cain, he brought his leftovers. It was an afterthought. But Abel, he brought his firstborn and his finest, his absolute best.
And that is the core lesson right there. We are constantly making offerings in our lives. Think about it. In our work, in our relationships, in the way we listen to a friend, in the effort we put into a project. This ancient story is like a timeless mirror, and it's asking each of us, are we bringing our first and finest, our Abel offering, or are we just bringing what's left over?
So here's the challenge for you. The power to fix that spiritual static, to refine our own inner world, it's not found in some grand cosmic event out there. It's found in the simple, conscious choice to bring our Abel offering, our very best selves, to whatever is right in front of us. So the real question is, what will you bring your best to this week?